Ciao, sono Sofia Milos. Hello, I'm Sofia Milos, and today we're going to make peperonata. It is, of course, a Mediterranean and Italian dish, very healthy, vegetarian, and actually also for you vegans. So it's beautifully served on its own with some toasted bread. You can put it next to polenta or some rice. What you will need is eggplant. Favor firm eggplants so that they are not very seedy, because the more seeds it has, the more it is going to be bitter, which of course there is a solution for that as well. You can slice up the eggplant, put some salt on it, and then press it down, okay, for about an hour until a bitter, darkish, like a brown liquid will come out. That's all the bitter from the eggplant. If you choose Japanese eggplant, or like we have in Rome, there is some light purple eggplants. They don't have a lot of seeds and taste delicious. I love them very much. I'm not vegetarian, but that's certainly one dish that would substitute meat for me. Here in America, I found that the Japanese eggplant works pretty well, and that looks more like this instead of like this. I'm going to use zucchini. You don't have to, but I like some zucchinis. These are the closest ones I can find in Italy. Sometimes they're called Mexican zucchinis here. Go figure why. An onion, or half an onion, white. A clove of garlic. Of course, peppers. You can use yellow peppers. I'm going to use just red peppers today because that's what I have in my fridge. Italian cooking is pretty much, you go check your fridge and you say, honey, that's what we're having today. 2 peppers are enough. 2 Roma tomatoes. Try to peel them. If you don't want to peel them, you can also use canned San Marzano Roma tomatoes. Not too much, just for coloring. Okay, a little bit of cirasella, which is peperoncino, which in American is peperoncino della nonna. It's basically red hot chili pepper. You don't want to use too much. The seeds are very spicy, but it gives it a nice little kick, and you know I like it hot. Some parsley, flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley, which is never missing really in Italian cucina, in the Italian cooking, and some basil. I'm going to use a potato. 1 potato is enough. And a little bit of a carrot for sweetness. Instead of putting sugar, put a little bit of a carrot in there. I choose not to put celery in it to keep just to keep it a little bit sweeter. Okay. You'll need extra virgin olive oil, and that's pretty much it on ingredients. Let's get started. Oh, of course, Celtic salt, sea salt, and some cracked pepper. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is make sure our knives are nice and sharp. Okay, and we can start with chopping our onion. Over medium heat, we'll be heating up our olive oil. I like my onion sliced. That way it adds the sweetness to the peperonata, but you don't actually have the big chunks of onion when you're eating. Okay, let's heat up the oil over medium heat. About a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Depends on how much vegetable you use. Okay, so once the oil heats up, we're going to add the onion. Next thing, we're going to add the carrot. I'm going to add a little bit of peperoncino. A little piece like that is good. Whoops! A little peperoncino, very spicy, just jumped off of me. Okay, I'm going to take a small carrot and make little cubes. Okay, let's add the carrots. Let that go for about 5 minutes until the onion becomes tender. Meanwhile, let's clean, wash and chop the pepper. I choose not to add green pepper because of the taste. Color would be pretty, but it's a little bit more bitter. So it's a personal thing. Yellow and red peppers is better for this dish because it's a little bit sweeter. Red peppers are great for you. Very rich in vitamin A and vitamin C, and vitamin C is great for your skin because it enhances collagen. Everybody run to the grocery store and buy some red peppers. Yeah, vitamin C is very important for your skin. Keeps you youthful and your skin elastic. Add a clove of garlic. You can just smash it and then the skin comes off. You want to make sure that you wash your peppers so you don't have any seeds from the red peppers in a dish. Peel a potato. A small one is fine. Okay, I'm going to add the potato to the onion and the carrot and garlic. As you know, I prefer to cook with Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, and if you don't have that, sea salt is fine. Let that cook for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to finish cutting up the red pepper. So pretty much you can cook and simmer the first batch of vegetables while as you keep cutting the vegetables here. And you want to cook them in the order that they cook the vegetables. So the potatoes first, the red peppers, the eggplants, and then in the end the zucchinis, because they don't need as much cooking time. I usually like to add the herbs towards the end so they keep their nice color but still have given me some flavor to the food. Okay, my red pepper is ready. I'm going to chop up the tomato as well. Let's cut the eggplant cubes as well. Like 1/2-inch cubes. Cut it in half. You see how the big one has more seeds than the Japanese eggplant had. I just wanted to show you the difference. So it's going to be a little bit more bitter. If you see it's too many seeds, this one is still okay. But if you see too many seeds, I do encourage to put some salt over it, keep it pressed down for about an hour, and so the bitter brownish liquid comes out, which is the bitterness of the eggplant. Of course, rinse it well, dry it off, and before you're going to use it. Or use Japanese eggplant, which has less seeds, or the Roman eggplants, which I absolutely adore. There's so many incredible recipes to be done with eggplant. We're ready to put in our peppers and the tomatoes. I'm putting them in already now. You don't want to cut up the the eggplant too much ahead of time because it will turn black on you. All right, the eggplant is ready. Let's check out the peppers. I'm going to bring up the flame to a medium heat. They probably should cook about 5-7 minutes until the red peppers are tender. Every time you put a new vegetable in, bring up the flame, because obviously with the cold vegetable it's cooling down a little bit. Once we have all the vegetables in, the tomatoes, the zucchini, everything, we'll add maybe 1 cup of water, not to completely cover, but you want to have a little bit of a stew going. It doesn't take too long to cook. You'll just have to, depending on how much vegetable you have, it could be half an hour, so let's just gauge it that way. I'm going to cover it for about 5 minutes. before putting in my eggplant. I'm putting on the stove a second pan with a little bit of olive oil and a clove of garlic. Over high heat, and as soon as the oil starts to heat up, I'm going to put in the eggplant and cook that separately. Ole! You can cook it also together, you can put everything together, but if you're looking for some more flavor and texture, cook the eggplant separately with some olive oil and a clove of garlic. And then add it after the peppers are starting to be a little bit tender. Alright, let's add some salt, Celtic salt to the eggplant over high heat. Let it go for, a few minutes. I'll chop some Italian parsley. A couple of leaves of basil. I'll add them with the zucchini, which is a little bit later. The zucchini will be cubed as well, so cut them in the center, and then one more time. You want to cook the eggplant until you start to see it become a little translucent. Of course, the eggplant absorbs all the oil, but after it's all done, the oil will rise on top anyway. Well, it's a vegetarian Italian dish, it's not fat-free. But it's healthy, colorful, and very, very good. So when the eggplant starts to be a little translucent, like that, that's after 5 minutes about, cooking over high heat and of course stirring with some salt and cracked pepper and a clove of garlic in it. We can add it to the other vegetable that have been simmering, covered on low heat. Ole! Bring the flame up. We're going to add a glass of water. All right. Let's add the zucchini. That's 2 zucchinis and parsley and basil leaves. Of course, later, try it. See when if the vegetable is cooked after half an hour, if you need more time, if you need a little bit more salt or pepper. So, just taste. All right, so now we're going to let it cook on medium, let's say medium low heat, covered for the next another 20 minutes. You don't want the vegetables to be mushy, but you also want all the flavors to come together. Okay, so after, oh my goodness, that smells so good. After it's cooked about another 20 minutes, see if you want to add some salt or whether you want to cook it a little longer. All in all, I cooked this for about 40 minutes, so 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and then the 30 minutes, and it's done. This is how it looks. It's beautiful. Very colorful, vegetarian dish. You can serve it alone with some toasted bread or next to polenta, some rice, quinoa. I like it alone. That's how I'm going to have it for dinner tonight. Voila. And of course, this is good in your fridge for 2 or 3 days. I don't think it's going to last that long, but it is good for 2 or 3 days. Just keep it nice and covered in the fridge. and it actually even tastes better, as most Italian dishes do. No, not like pizza for breakfast. We don't need pizza for breakfast, but it tastes better the next day. And here's the peperonata. Buon appetito!